Good morning, Mike.
How you doing, Gary?
Well, there's so much talk about all the satellite camps that we forget that schools still host camps too, and that's where Alabama has done really, really well in recruiting since Nick Saban has been here, is getting these guys into their camps, evaluating them, making offers, and getting commitments. And it has been a big week for Alabama. Let's start with what happened late Monday night. Elliott Baker, 6'7", 295-pound offensive tackle from the City College of San Francisco. He's rated by many as the top junior college prospect in the country, not just offensive tackle. I got to tell you, I watched this guy. I like him. No offense to Charles Baldwin, who kind of washed out, but this is a much better-looking player than Charles Baldwin to me. I mean, he's long-armed, he's athletic, seems to have a great understanding of the game. This is a big pickup for Alabama for the class of 2017.
Well, you nailed it right there. He's not Charles Baldwin, who I thought was going to fit in pretty well. That didn't work out. But, yeah, you nailed it when you said he's 6'7", 295, 300 pounds, something like that. Had a ton of offers, Georgia, Oregon, Mississippi State. But this is a huge get for Alabama. You can never have too many tackles. And, if he's not the top JUCO tackle in the country, he's one of them. But the guy likes to play physical, seems to be pretty well-rounded, definitely uses his leverage to his advantage. I mean, he's got arms like tree trunks. He's got a little nasty streak in him, but, I think in the long run, we'll see how well this turns out. I think it's a big get for Alabama. They definitely wanted him, and he automatically committed. He definitely wanted to commit right then and there, and he did to Nick Saban. But one thing can be for sure, you can never have enough tackles, and this is going to help with depth. And he could be an immediate impact player enrolling in January.
All right. Last night, I was a little surprised by this. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think Alabama was going to take another quarterback in this class, but they did. And before we talk about Mac Jones, this sends a message to me. In my opinion, I'm speaking only for me, I think that they're anticipating that one or two of these quarterbacks that are on the roster now won't be back next year. Tua Tagovailoa already committed to Alabama from Hawaii. Talk about him in a moment. But the Kentucky commitment, Mac Jones from the Bowl School in Jacksonville, Florida. I think a lot of people felt like, and I know Kentucky was nervous, that when he got down here to camp at Alabama, if Alabama made the push and made him a committable offer, that he would take it, and he did. Good player. I'm not saying that he's not, but are you surprised that Alabama took a second quarterback in the class of 2017?
Yes, I am. Some people expected Alabama to take a second one. I was not one of them, especially with Tagovailoa already committed. I think everybody knows, how good that young man is, and just tore it up at the Elite 11. One of the most mature, commitments in the class, and one of the best recruiters. But Mac Jones, 6'3", 180 pounds, real skinny kid. His film kind of reminds me of a little bit of A.J. McCarron back in the day. And from what I've read, he's got that feisty, confident swag, in the huddle type, and, has real good presence in the huddle. Doesn't have the biggest arm in the world, but he's very accurate. He has taken already 2 MVPs at rivals camps, so he performs, extremely well under pressure. So it's not like this kid can't play. He's very talented, but he's not a dual threat guy. But he is accurate on the run. He can throw it on the run, but he's not like Tua. He's not a dual threat guy, not a 4 or 5 guy or anything like that. But they must have seen something in him And I'm with you on the transfer thing, because if they didn't think that all the quarterbacks were going to stay, I don't think this guy would be getting an offer. I think they are definitely expecting some transfers, or at least one transfer.
All right, we are getting up against it on time, Mike. So I know you sent me a list of guys that are committed that Alabama wants to keep an eye on. But if we have time, we'll get to some of those. But I want to talk to you about some of the guys that they're really pushing for a commitment from in-state. And let's talk about Austin Troxel. I mean, I think this kid is an outstanding prospect at tackle from Madison Academy there in North Alabama, a powerhouse school. Auburn is really strong with him as well. They did take Elliott Baker, which makes me wonder how they feel about Troxel. But this is a high school kid who is, man, I tell you what, 6'7", 6'8", already over 290 pounds, athletic. I know Bama wants him bad, but Auburn really looks like they have made a nice move on him. What's the latest?
Well, they have, but I still think Alabama is definitely all over him. He's one of the best players in the state. Has a ton of offers to back it up. He does have some teammates at Auburn, but it's gonna. I definitely think it's gonna come to an in-state battle. But he has a very, very high ceiling. I really, really like him. I think that to tell you the truth, I don't think that he ends up at Auburn. I really don't.
Okay.
I think that Alabama will end up getting him in the end. Will it go on for a little bit longer? Yeah. I'm not sure when he'll make his commitment, but he's an in-state kid, and I've said from the beginning, I think Alabama ends up with 8 or 9 in-state kids, and I think he's going to be one of them.
Well, a guy who has set a date, and it's right around the corner, is the linebacker from Central Phoenix City, Markel Benton. And I got to tell you something. I like the guy, but in my opinion, again, I speak for myself, I think he's a little overrated. I think he's a nice player. I don't see him as one of the best linebackers in the country based on some others that I've watched. I think he's a good player. Alabama and Auburn both have reportedly offered. Other schools have as well. I want to get your thoughts, because I just don't feel like he's a priority for Alabama. Am I wrong there?
I'm not sure. I'm really not. I would tell you if I did know something, but I really don't. He's a very instinctive football player, and he makes plays all over the field. He's down to Florida State, Auburn, and Alabama. For the longest time, I know he was a slam dunk for Auburn, and now
I still think that's where he's going to wind up.
And it wouldn't shock me at all if he does. And I think he's going to commit on Friday. I think that's the date. I think he said he was going to commit this Friday. But
I think he's Auburn all the way. I'm just going to go ahead and call this one. I'm cutting you off, Mike, but I think this is a done deal. I think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a really good player. I think there are better ones out there, but he is highly rated now, and it'll be a big hit for Auburn because of his in-state ranking for them to get him. But I think there are some better linebackers on Alabama's board. Again, just my opinion.
Fair enough.
Now, a guy who I know Alabama does want a lot is the big wide receiver out of Clay Chalkville, Nico Collins, and it looks like Georgia has, made a big push here.
They've been all over him from the beginning, beginning with Kirby Smart recruiting him to come to Alabama. Then when he took the job, but he's probably the best player in the state of Alabama. Recently, got a 5-star. So he's 6'5", 200 pounds, a possession receiver. He is a must-get for Alabama. I think this is going to be a battle to the end, Alabama, Georgia, and I don't know. I think Alabama's got a little ground to make up, to be honest. I think Tua Tagovailoa and Alex Leatherwood and Van Darius Cowan, some of the guys, some of the commits that are really good at recruiting other guys to get in the class are going to have to get all on him and really kind of help change his mind a little bit. But he's camping at Alabama, and things are going pretty well right now for him. So hopefully Alabama can get him to lean a little bit more towards the Crimson Tide and change his mind.
And what about Henry Ruggs, another receiver?
Henry Ruggs is a guy I think Alabama's sitting fine with. He's a speedster, wide receiver out of Montgomery, Alabama. Another guy with all kinds of offers. But Coach Napier's recruiting him, and I think Coach Napier does a phenomenal job of getting the guys that he really wants. And they've targeted Henry Ruggs from the very beginning. He's a speed demon, could be used in special teams and other situations. But I really like Alabama's chances with him. I think he's another guy that they'll definitely get.
All right, Mike. A lot of guys that are committed that Alabama's going to have to fight to hang on to. Unfortunately, we're up against a break, but we can maybe pick back up with that next week. But great stuff. What's on the tap? What's on the menu for Crimson Cover TV this week?
I think we got Travis Ryer is going to be sitting in for Chase. Chase is doing the NFL thing in Los Angeles. And so it'll be me, Travis, and John going at it. And it should be a good show. Should be heated.
It always is. That's tomorrow night, or Friday night, I should say. Friday night at 6:30. Crimson Cover TV with Mike Parker, John Copeland, and Travis Ryer sitting in this week for Chase Goodbread. Appreciate the knowledge, Mike.
No problem, guys. You have a good one.